Back.
19.
Again.
Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Okay. Welcome back. We are up to the second Omer Abaye, which is 3 lines from the bottom of 14a. So far we did Omer Abaye in the case where Reuven sold a field to Shimon with Achrayas, and we said Abaye holds that in such a case, if a Baal Chov comes to take away the land that Reuven sold to Shimon, so Reuven can, so to speak, interfere in that court case and challenge the creditor who's trying to take away the land by saying that he doesn't really have any right to do that. Now we're going to talk about another case, similar case. So let's see. Without further ado, we call upon Alan to continue the reading.
14a.
I see Lou is. I see Phil is there, but his camera's off.
Okay, sorry. I'll put it on.
There he is.
Welcome, Phil.
Thanks.
The Gemora cites Shmuel's explanation at the position of the sages in our Mishnah, right? Omar Shmuel. Shmuel said,
What are you starting on?
14a1, right?
No, we're nowhere near 14A1. We're well past that. Where do you want to start, Rabbi?
14a.
We're starting from Omer Abaye. It's the last 2 words in the 3rd line from the bottom of the page.
Omer Abaye, Ruvain, Shemachar, Sadeh.
Yeah.
14A3, the right paragraph.
The bottom, another law concerning a related matter. Well, Rabbi Ibe said, Reuven, Shabor, Var, Shara, were Shomon, Shell, Rogos. If Reuben sold a field to Shimon without a guarantee, Yetzo is king, and protesters against Reuven's ownership of the land came forth. Zeh Shelo Zik Bor, as long as Shimon did not yet take possession of the fields. So talking here about no guarantee.
Right. There's no guarantee over here. And Yotzu Alea Asikin.
People protested.
Achelo Hexikbo. So the din is Yochol Laksabo. So in that case, where the buyer has not yet been machzik in the karka, I guess that means to take possession of the karka. He can what can he do? He can welch out of the deal. That's what it looks like. Yochol Laksabo. Okay, so let's take a look at Rashi. We got one Rashi on the bottom of 14a, Asikin.
Seeking should be the people who protest. Let's see what that says. Seeking, Orim, Kamo, they kind of like complain, and now he has a thing, Kamo, Hasiko Imo, that he complains, he's busy with them.
Yeah. Okay. So Rashi's just translating the word for us, Asikin, says referring to people that are raising a complaint or a protest about Shimon's taking possession of the field, presumably on the grounds that he doesn't own the field, based upon the fact that he bought it from Reuven. So in such a case, Ad shelo hechzik bo, before he was took control of the property, before he made a kinyan chazaka, yochol laksabo, he can get out of the deal, it sounds like. There's a Rashi over here on the top of Yud Daled Amud Beis, and we ask Lou to read this Rashi.
Yachol l'chazor bo, in order to go back within it. Ubishalo nasan maos. So he doesn't have to give him money.
Rashi's making a proviso in the judgment of the Gemora over here. This is the Gemora says that he's able to back out of the deal. Yochol Laksabo, the buyer, that's provided that he has not given the purchase money for the property already. But if he has given the most, that's the money that the cost of the field. So then it sounds like, according to Rashi, that even if he has not yet taken physical possession or making any chazaka in the property itself, he would not be able to be choser bo. He would not be able to back out of the deal. Okay. And now we go further in the Gemora on Yud Daled Amud Beis. We have a round of applause for Yud Daled Amud Aleph. Hooray!
Hey.
Wow. Baruch Hashem. Another Amud of Gemora. Okay. Then the Gemora continues with Misha Hekzikbo. And we go to Alan to continue the reading.
Right? Bo, he may withdraw from the transaction and he need not proceed with the payment of the field. Masher Zazik Bor. However, once he performed the propriety act of the field, Yochol Lach Dor Bo, and must proceed with payment for the field. For Omar Lee, for Ruven Meitel, read the law for called law. You knew about and accepted a bag full of notes. For example, willing purchase a field without insisting on a guarantee. The Gemora elaborates force, a door, has a door. At what point is it considered that Shimon has performed the propriety act on the field? Navi, Diash, or Marua, from within he walks along the border of the field. The Gemara presents an opinion that goes one step further. Bor or Miri, and there were those who say that this ruling was with a guarantee. He or Mar Ali for Ruvain may tell Shimon read to phone, show me your seizure receipt, and then I will pay you. In the meanwhile, however, you must pay me for the field.
Okay. On the case of Misha Hekzikba, but from the time the Lopeach, Shimon, the buyer, has made a hazaka, and the Gemara is going to ask in a minute what exactly constitutes the point that he's made a chazaka. From that point on, Eino Yochol Achsabo, he cannot back out of the deal. He cannot back out of the deal at that point. Because the mocher, the seller, is has that's an expression. Maybe Rashi's going to explain what that expression is. Rashi will explain. Okay, we'll see what that means exactly. Chayta dekitre. Okay, so Phil, you want to read the Rashi de Ramasko Eino Yocho Lachsorbo, the first line.
Eino Yocho Lachsorbo. He can't retract on it.
Right.
If feel low, even if low natan mount, even if he didn't give money. Karka Nikne, because his land, Nikne, the Chazaka, was acquired with Chazaka. The Hamot and the money, the money is all on the loan here.
Okay. In other words, what are we talking about? We're really talking about after the buyer has made a kinyan, a legal acquisition in the property, so he can't back out of it now. He's made a kinyan. He now officially is the owner of the property. He's made a kinyan. If he has the ability to make such an acquisition of the property. But we know that there's a number of ways that you could make a acquisition in real property. We're talking here about a field. A field is real property. How do you make a legal acquisition, a kinyan, in real property? You got three ways. You got a contract, a duly signed and sealed contract. You've got chazaka, or you got kesef. Either one of these three things, I believe, should mean that he's made an acquisition in the property. The Gemora says actually until he's made a chazaka in the property, but Rashi said that was provided that he didn't give the money yet. So Rashi understands that even if he gave the money, even if he didn't go on the field at all and do nothing, he can't back out of it at that point either. So I'm understanding that what the Gemara really means when it says that he's been machzik in the property is simply that he's made an acquisition, one of the three acquisitions that there is to make in the property. So over here, so Rashi's saying he can't back out of it now. En yochel lachzebo. In this case, afilu lo nasan lomos, even if he didn't give any money, because like we saying, all he needs to do is do one of these three modes of acquisition, and now he's made an acquisition in the property. At that point that he made an acquisition in the property, he can't back out of it. And Rashi says, how so? Because karka niknas bechazaka. Oh, there's the magic three words. Rashi says because karka is acquired, you can make a legal acquisition in karka through the method of chazaka. And then Rashi says, Vamos, what about the money then? Even if he didn't give the money? He's made his acquisition even if he didn't give the money? So then Rashi says, Vahamos al zeh milva. I guess what Rashi means to say is that the guy owes to pay the money. He can't say, oh, now that I made an acquisition, I don't need to pay him anything because I already made a chazak in the property. I already acquired the property. No, you got to pay the guy, right? So that turns into a loan that you now owe the seller the purchase price of the property. But it's not going to, technically speaking, the fact that he made the chazaka now is going to prevent this buyer from backing out of the deal at this point. So that's what Rashi's saying. Okay. Now the next Rashi, Kaita. Louis, want to take this Rashi? It's a
Chaisa. Shak milva kasharim. I don't know what shak is.
Sak sounds like it's a container. It contains things. Malik sharim. It's filled with the ksharim.
Knots. Things that are tying up. A kesher is a knot.
Oh, it's a bag full of made of knots.
So what's that all about?
I have a footnote that says that if you have a bunch of stuff in a bag and the bag is all knotted up, then you can't look inside and see what you got. So in other words, it's high risk. You made a purchase that was high risk.
Sak malik shorim. Oh, in other words, it's a bag and it's tightly tied up. that you can't open it.
Correct.
So that means savart v'kabalt. So he's done two things. In other words, we assume that, in other words, here we see something special about doing a kinyan chazaka over here, and perhaps we'll say the same thing about giving money, but about both of those things. Once those two things, either one of those two things happen, even in the absence of the other one, either you do chazaka or you do a giving of the money. It sounds like the Gemora is saying that the mocher is able to say to the lokeach, "Haita de kitri, you now are the proud owner of a bag, a tightly sealed bag, and you bought it, and there's nothing you can do about it. Savart v'kabalt. If you did such a thing, if you gave me the money, or if you made a chazaka on the property, we're going to see what that constitutes in a minute when the Gemara asks what does it actually mean that you made a chazaka. But if you did either one of those two things, so that means that the buyer can now say to the seller, you obviously must have thought about about buying this property, and you considered it very, very, very carefully, and then you came to the conclusion that yes, you wanna go through with the deal, and at the point that you give the money, at the point that you make the chazaka, that's called it's a done deal. Savart v'kabalt. You accepted any difficulties that there may be in the purchase that you made, and now you can't come back and cry and say, ah, ah, ah. Can't do that. Okay. So now the Gemara wants to know, me'emasai havia chazaka. At what point do we consider that the buyer has made a chazaka in the property? At which point we say that he can't back out of the deal if he hits upon a difficulty in the property that he purchased. For example, like the case that the Gemara gave, that people come and start protesting and say that he doesn't own the land, and they're challenging him on his ownership of the land. If he gave money already, if he made a chazak already, he can't back out now. Oh, okay. Oh, so let's read. We're ready to read the next Rashi. Mechidayesh amatzrei. Whose turn is it to read? Phil.
No, I read the last one. You want me to read? It's only 3 words. The yesh amatzrei, because there is this amatzrei. There is these amatzrei along the borders. Afal God, even though, no, that's not that. It's above that. Mitakein gavuli. He sets boundaries of hasadeh, of the field. The hagbeah in Magbeim, and then collects it.
So if we see the purchaser going around the field and fixing where the property line is, that already is an indication that in his mind he regards this property as his own, and now he's taking steps to make sure that nobody trespasses on his property, or that everybody knows that until this point, this is where his property is. And so that that's a sign that he's made it. That itself can constitute a chazaka, which means at that point, even if he didn't give any money, he's stuck with the deal. He can't get out of it. Okay, next case. Gemora said, Ikeda Amre. There's those that say another example of what would be chazaka. Afilu ba'achrayas. Nami. Domarle achve tirfach ashalim loch. What does this mean? Let's take a look at the Rashi. Rashi's going to tell us what's this referring to.
Ike de amre afilu be'achrayus nami. There are those that say that even if there is achrayus, afagav dis sof alei hadar ein yachol lechazor bo sheha mochar chav alav v'lo matzi amar hu ho'il disofach l'shalem li me'osai hashta biyade achvas. Even though in the final analysis about on it, Hadar, he returned.
Hadar ein yochol lachzor bo.
He's not able to retract in it.
Yeah.
That the seller Ma'akav is he sold it already?
Is prevented from. Like go back on it is preventing.
Machab is to go back?
Yeah, makav. It's like makav. Something is like,
Withhold.
He can't withhold it. Velo matzi, and we don't find Amar that he says since what's Sofan?
In the end. In its sense.
And he's not able to say, he referring to the seller. Yeah. Hoyel v'sofcha l'shalem li ma'osi, since
at the end he's going to pay you my money.
In the end, you're going to have to pay me. We're talking about a case. Apparently, they didn't pay him yet.
Now
he doesn't mean that. Hashta, yeah. Now,
to be a day, ashkevam. It's in your hand to
be a D. It's in my hand.
It's in my hand. I don't know what achbam is.
To withhold. Same word that we had before. He will be able to withhold him from doing what? From backing out, I guess. Okay, so
we have a situation where there is a lien, and the seller says I can withhold?
In other words, if since we're talking about over here, even if the sale had a guarantee in regard to the property,
Right.
that what's the guarantee basically? That if people come and reclaim the property away from the seller, but I'm sorry, from the buyer, people come and say, "You don't own this land; it's our land." So they kick him off the property that he bought from the seller. So now he's going to go. The buyer's going to now go back to the seller that sold him this property with a guarantee clause. So we're saying even in that case, the buyer is not he's not going to be able to back out of the deal with the seller. Why not? On account of the fact that these protesters raised a fuss about the ownership of the property. If he is already, in other words, we're going back on what we just got through saying. If he's already matakin he's already fixed up the property lines, and he's done all of that to show that he's made a chazaka. He's not going to be able to go to the buyer in this case and get out of the deal. Why
Okay.
not?
Make the buyer pay him?
Yeah. Why not? Yeah, l'chora, he's got a good claim, no? He's going to go to the buyer and he's going to say, look, after I'm coming to you because they took away the property from me, and you gave me a guarantee on the property.
So this is the buyer going to the seller.
Yeah.
And the seller has to pay him.
אם כן כבר אתה עקב אס המוס בידי. To Amarle, but he's saying back to him, the seller is saying back to the buyer, Akve tirfach, ashalim. Oh, that's what he's saying. What is he saying? He's saying, show me the star that I wrote to you. Oh, this is the next Rashi, actually. Okay, but before we get to in other words, the seller is gonna be able to say something back to the buyer over here. But before we get to that, what are we saying? I'm not. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at what the next Rashi says. Whose turn is it to read Rashi?
It's my turn to read Rashi, but you're up to the Omar way that he can say to him.
Yeah.
Atve, trying to read that. Tarech.
Tirfach.
tirfach v'ashalem lo, something I'm going to pay you. Come, show me your that you grabbed it for me, and I will pay you.
Oh, so the question is, what is this tirfach? I think Rashi is going to tell us what this tirfach is.
Okay. Now we have kisha'ah.
In other words, this is what's going on over here. The buyer is coming back to the seller and saying, "Give me back my money," and the seller, we're saying the seller has the ability to say to him, "Achve tirfach." Shalom lo. First, you got to show me the tirfach, and then I'll pay you back. So Rashi's going to talk about that.
Okay.
First thing I got to see is what this tirfach is.
Yeah, when that's like sort of when I admit it, and then the Rashi had Dibri Amaskil, the Amalei. Achve Basule Kisha Amodka Bedin when I'll present it in the courts. Words getting small here. And Timchu so something like that. Chule.
V'yikhu bedin v'yichtov l'cha hadayin shtar torif alai.
And I will merit it.
Din tarfu mimcha.
Okay, wait a second. Let me read the Rashi without the bach. The zichu bedin, and I merit it in judgment. The yichtov written for you, hadayin this judgment of a star torah. A star of being so to speak, Torah, alive for me. Shebedin, in the din, tarpok, it would be torn up mimach from you, bishvili, because of the hashalemu that I'll pay you. The whole and all of these comma, how much the low omda that you're not standing in judgment, bedin, any yara mehem, you don't is not shown to him, yara.
Kol kama de lo amadata bedin, as long as these protesters that are jumping up and down over there, as long as they didn't bring you to a din Torah over this property that I sold you, Eini yore mehem, I, the seller, am not afraid of them. So that's what this tirfa is. The tirfa is an official document that's signed by the Bezdin that says that these protesters, they came and rightfully took away the property from the seller. So if the Bezdin says that they're entitled to the property, so then I'll pay you, says the seller. But until you show me your official document that they took you to a din Torah and they proved to the Bezdin that they own the property and that you, the buyer, had no right to buy that property, and therefore they took the property away from you. Until you show me that document, I'm not giving you any money. That's what it means that he can't back out. That's what it means that the seller can't back out now. You might have thought to say that the seller can say, "Oh, I don't need it. I didn't buy a property to have so much trouble like this. No, forget it. I'm out of here." No, you're until you show me this document that you were officially kicked off the land and the Bezdin officially agrees with the protesters that it's their property, it's not yours. So I'm not refunding your money. Okay.
Okay. Take care.
Everybody have a great day.
Thank you, Rabbi.
All the best.
You know, for, all right, 4